And we are finally live. Greetings to all my followers of darkness, shadow scavengers, and circus aficionados. This time, here I am, your host, as always, the Lord of Shadows, but just this once, you may call me the Shadow Ringmaster. And just from the title, I guess you get the idea why I'm saying this. Because this time, it's going to be no, it's not going to be a Shadow Council. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's going to be a review this time. Review slash live discussion about the one and only, I can't believe I'm going to say this, the amazing digital circus. Now, before we go, let me introduce to all of you two of my favorite members of the Shadow Council. Of course, starting with TK, the lucky bastard, and of course, Polly, the Wonder Girl. So, without any further ado, let's get the show on the road. Okay, so basically, for anyone who has been living under a rock ever since 2023, or more precisely, under a digital rock, to be more precise, basically, the amazing digital circus has been invented by
Gooseworks, yeah.
Thank you. By Mr. Goose Guy, and also produced by Glitch Productions, formerly known as Glitchy Boy. And I'm kind of now I kind of now understand why they changed it. Glitch Production kind of sounds more effective, more catchy. Anyway, Glitch Productions, founded in 2017, I think. Yeah, I think it was 2017, and also the company behind things like Maze Runner, Game Wars, and also I think the Knights of Guinevere that recently actually came out. And of course, the one and only, the amazing digital circus. So, since this time I'm sharing my review with two of the most fabulous members of the Shadow Council, I'm going to give them the first try to basically say their overall thoughts. So, let's start, shall we? So, Paul, TK, I just want to hear your basic overall thoughts about the show in general, including the final act.
So, do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So, are we talking about the show first and then the movie? Or
well,
are we just...
Well, basically about the, as I like to call it, about the general show, I'm kind of try to basically combine the TV show and the movie / finale itself. It's kind of like an overall thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so go for it.
Okay, so the digital circus, I did not know. I only watched the pilot and didn't even think about it. I thought it's just some random pizzazz type of thing. And they did not release the second episode until the year after it aired. So I did not realize the popularity of it at first. Maybe around the characters and stuff like that. But I think for some reason I'm starting to get into it. I think I don't know why or how I got into it, to be honest, but I think it's more of a curiosity type of thing. I didn't think too much of it, and I didn't realize how popular it's going to be. So I mean, shout out to Gooseworks for making the show. Yeah, so I just think that I mean, I don't know what else to say. So I think there's some adventures that are going on, and I don't know what. And when I watched the first episode, I'm what's going on? But once it just develops, I think it's starting to get used to getting the idea of what the show is about, and what it entails.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, TK?
I like it. I got into it because of Polly. She and I watched a couple episodes together. And the designs look really cool. I like the concept. I like the music. I also kind of like it because it reminds me of my favorite arc from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the framework. So it kind of reminds me of the framework a little bit. And also I like it because Jax looks like he could be Lord Beerus's brother.
I
Um,
think like I think Lord Beerus will get tired of him like in a matter of minutes.
yeah, he destroy him within a matter of minutes. But they look very identical. But no, I like it. I thought the designs were good, music was good. I like everything about it.
Okay, okay, fair enough. So yeah, so basically my overall thoughts. Well, when it comes to like the show itself, I mean, first and foremost, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to the Amazing Digital Circus because like I got into it, I think like the first 4 episodes were out when I first started watching it because I mean, first and foremost, I started seeing it all over the place from like Facebook to Twitter/X. And people like kind of like talking about it. I've seen like even some like cosplays in different like cons that I've been in and everything. At first, I was like who the hell are these characters? Like especially the Pomni character. I'm like I was like thinking, who the hell is this clown? And then basically, as I got into it, I was like, okay, I got the idea, and I have to say, like, usually I'm not a big fan of like YouTube type of like projects, basically. But this one actually, I would say, slowly but it really got my attention. I mean, I do agree the world building, the storytelling, although it is a bit predictable, but still, like the storytelling, the characters, there's like humor in it, serious moments, dark moments, some even like moments I was like, what the hell is going on? But overall, it did surprise me. It really did surprise me. And also, I have to say, seeing a YouTube project turn into a film on the big screen for the very first time in my like 30 years, like that was a really big experience for me. Seeing something like this. So yeah, it really like I said, it took me a long time to kind of get into it. But when I got into it, I just simply thought like, okay, I kind of get the idea why people like it. I kind of really got the idea. Yeah, and I do agree. All the characters are really, really well made, really well designed. Some of them even are really crazy designs, especially different like worlds and everything. But overall, basically my in general thoughts. Yeah, it's way more positive than negative. I would say. Like I said, the story is a bit predictable at times, but there were some also good like twists and reveals and turns that that for me is a really really big bonus when it comes to the show, which also kind of brings me to this, is I like to call it our favorite attractions. So I'll first start with this. Of all the characters that you've seen throughout the Amazing Digital Circus, I'm kind of curious to see which ones would you consider as your favorite characters in the show.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
So I would say Pomni and Kinger. Pomni, I think, is much more relatable. And because the first one, I think she's kind of like, she's a little scared at first because she's trapped in a circus and she's trying to figure out like how to get out of here. But as we see throughout, she's like more concerned for her friends. And I think it's much more of like a nice approach. Like she really wants to help. I think that's her main goal. Like she wants to hear people out and just like know how to help them. Kinger is like a dad. Kinger is like I have to say, I usually call him Papa Kinger, but he's just like he's just like the best. Like he's funny in the first episode, but I think when it comes to like darkness, it makes him more sane and makes him more considerate and very thoughtful and always be willing to listen.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to kind of add to this, every time when he has the bucket on his head, I mean, I was kind of used to always calling him the Bucket King.
The Bucket King.
Yeah, like basically when he's a normal chess figure, he's basically kind of like a dummy. But when he gets into his Bucket King mode, then he's a way more interesting character. Absolutely. I mean, I just want to add to the character of Kinger. I mean, my favorite moment with him was definitely in the haunted mansion with Pomni and him. I think
Yes.
that for me was my favorite moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at first, I think like before that moment, we kind of saw him as more like a. I mean, at least I saw him kind of like a comic relief, like
Mhm.
dummy type of character and everything. But that particular episode, when they were in the haunted mansion, it really took me. It really took me by surprise, like how they transformed Kinger into something else. And
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think the conversation, that one moment of conversation, is like, it's kind of like a father and daughter conversation, even though they're not related. And it actually kind of happened again in episode 6 when he was with Ragatha.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
think it just feels like he's the dad. Like every time he's like, when he goes into the aquarium, like because he was like shot and he goes to like the loser area, he's in the darkness, which makes him more sane.
Yep.
And he's always willing to listen to like Ragatha because she feels like she lets down Pomni, maybe Jax. But I feel like that's why I'm saying he's like the dad figure, because he's willing to like be more encouraging. Well, not
Hmm.
like pushy encouraging, but I think he's more like a motivating type of guy. So I think 3 and 6 are the only times I see like Kinger being like sane in this point. But um yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about that point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We have a first comment. Ringmaster Kane. Hello. Well, hello to you, Kane, as well,
Oh no.
and welcome to and welcome to the Amazing Digital Circus review. I think he's gonna like it. Yeah, because we're gonna talk a lot of positivity about this show. Either that, or we're gonna end up in a digital shithole if we don't. Yeah. But also to kind of, I just want to add to Pomni. Like, I mean, Pomni, when I first saw her, I mean, she basically had those very traditional props where basically when you send like a real life character in a digital world among like different, like actual fictional characters, like, and I get it. I get it. Like, absolutely agree. She's very relatable. She is, you know, but with this, even though with the same props that you've seen, that at least I have seen over and over again. Okay, before gasp, you saw it. It surpassed 10 views. How many people saw it? Let me check. Oh my. We're trying. We're trying, Mr. Kane. We're really trying. Yeah, but basically, yeah, I just wanted to say, Pomni is also a very interesting character, and I do agree. I think like my favorite moments is when she's trying to connect with all of them,
Yeah.
trying to make new friends, but at the same time trying to help them. Again, she has the same. She has the same. That's a lot.
That's
Thank you, thank you. We're trying. You know, maybe we will get over 9,000. Who knows? Sorry, I had to say it. I had to say it. Anyway, what was saying? Oh yeah. So kind of add to Pomni, like again, she has the same props as I've seen in many different types of storytelling, but especially when it comes to virtual worlds. But the way how they utilize it, it still makes it like very creative in a way. Like creative, connective, wowie.
wow, wee. That's how he said it. Wow, wee.
Wowee. Yeah, but anyway, to cut the story short, I just want to say, like, with the same problems that they show with Pomni and everything, they still make her a believable character, relatable, and someone you can easily connect to. Let's put it that way. And also I have to say, I mean, I'm a sucker for clowns, so I really love her design. Absolutely.
She does look good in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what about you, TK?
Well, I
Who's
like
your?
Jax because he has a lot of depth.
Oh my god.
I like Kinger for all the reasons that you two said, but I really like Kane because he went Super Saiyan, technically.
More like more like super digital saying.
Yeah. But I kind of like that moment, but that's just the Dragon Ball nerd in me who like anytime.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
when he was like, "I am
yeah,
God."
that's the Dragon
That-
Ball
it
nerd in
does have
me.
the Dragon Ball feel in it.
That like anytime anybody ever does that or says like it's over 9,000.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
mean, that's
love
also
that.
yeah. He kind of has that moment. I give you that. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to myself, I mean, like my favorite characters. I mean, there's quite a few, but my number one uh, again. I mean, I mean, look, I'm the villain's life, so my favorite character for me was actually Kane. You know, every single moment he was in, he was hilarious, and I definitely would say my favorite moment is basically when he went nuts. You know, with the whole digital saying, basically, as UTK said, you know, I am God, and basically, I mean, you know, and also, I mean, I'm kind of connecting with the movie itself, also, you know, but you know, what I love about Kane is not simply the overall character itself, but also the way how they interpreted AI, basically. Like that's also an idea that I really liked. I can see Ringmaster Kane is really loving what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, but basically, that's one of the elements of Kane I really loved. You know, and also basically the whole protocol. You know, why it was created, the overall purpose behind it. But at the same time, you kind of, in a way, you kind of feel sorry for him because
Yeah.
like he's like at the end of the day he is basically alone, and and that's the least thing he wants. You know, he doesn't want to be alone. He wants to have people. Basically he can enjoy, well, at first kind of like torturing them, but like, you know, he wants to have, at the end of the day, a family. He wants to have friends. He wants to have someone to hang out with and everything, you know, even though he was doing it the wrong way, the more twisted way, you know. But you know, and even though I'm not a fan of like villain redemption arcs and everything, but the way how they did Kane's redemption in the end, I liked it. You know, I
Yeah.
liked it. Basically, him being in the void. You know, because at first I was like, you know, there's no way. You know, they deleted him in the pre-ultimate episode. Like, there's no way he's defeated. Like, he's gonna come back, and he will, and he did. Kind of like, you know, spying on them behind those like few cubes and everything, but still he was back. But yeah, I love about that the whole, you know, origin of Kane and how he was created, the overall character itself, and all the way to the redemption, you know. And at the end of the day, I was really happy to see him like actually hanging out with them, you
Mhm.
know, and also them also kind of accepting him after everything he did and all that, even though it took a long time. But I still find it, you know, like really heartwarming. Any torture I inflict is purely accidental. Well, that's debatable, Kane. That is very debatable. Very debatable. But anyway, but besides Kane, I mean, there's a smidgen of others. You know, like again, just like you, Paulie. I mean, I also really love Kinger as well.
Hanger, yeah.
Pomni is also a really interesting character as well. And then we go to Jax.
Oh, I
The,
did not like him at first.
let me explain. Let me explain. I know that for a lot of people, he's one of the most hateful characters in the digital circus. I mean, I get it. At first, I will admit he was an asshole, an
Mhm.
absolute jerk. But as the episodes went further, when I started to see Jax on a different, from a different, on a different perspective, on a different light, basically, I kind of start seeing, you know, like, you know, okay, I'm kind of figuring out why he's being a jerk, why he's being. Oh God, the rabbit. He's very rude. Yeah, no kidding. Uh, oh, it makes you sad. Well, it's kind of difficult to see Kane when he's sad or not, with those big teeth and everything. Like, it's very difficult. But anyway, what was going? Oh yeah. So basically, what I was trying to say is like, you know, through the time, you know, from episode per episode, basically you kind of start seeing, you know, that Jax is a very damaged person. You know, especially when he was open to Ribbit and to kind of try to explain where he comes from and what he did and everything. I mean, you kind of, in the end, you kind of feel sorry for him. This, I think, like, well, not maybe not as much as Kane, Like you kind of feel sorry for him, like much more on a much more bigger scale. I mean, Jesus, like the guy. I mean, everyone heard of like defense mechanism, but what Jax had like is absolutely ridiculous. Like it's a defense mechanism on a totally different level. Like, I mean, especially like like he was when he was open with Ribbit, like especially when Kaufman came, he was knocking on the door and he's like, oh, nothing happened, like we were just talking, and then he tells the Ribbit like, don't you ever dare tell anyone about this. And then you see a few glitches later, he's like, oh that was all bullshit, like
oh yeah, it doesn't happen. It
didn't happen. I took that from a movie and everything, and in my head I was like, Jax, you're so full of shit. It's a very typical defense mechanism element, and in the end, yes, Ribbit, Frog Lady, yes, exactly. I was talking about her. Yeah. So overall, I like Jax not as a character, but more as his like character arc, his character journey, his character psychology, basically. If you kind of get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I did.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
I think episode, what was it? I think there was like some hints that are like teased, maybe a little bit in 4, maybe a little bit in 5 and 6, where she's like kind of mentioned directly or indirectly. I'm guessing indirectly, but I didn't get it at first, but once I watched it, I'm like, okay, you gotta feel bad for this. But then all of a sudden, you're gonna have to like push her away, saying that pretend it didn't happen when you just had your emotions out. Like,
yeah,
I think that's just like you're not gonna deny, like, you're just gonna sit here and say that you're gonna deny everything that you said. In actuality, that is like what actually happened. Because the thing is, where's my brain going with this? The thing is, I just don't know. Like, yeah, like you said, you gotta have to feel bad for him. Maybe not just Kane, but like it's kind of like I was saying, it's just like an emotional roller coaster.
On what capacity we are monsters?
Oh no! You 3 are monsters.
On what capacity we're monsters? I'm kind of curious about that. But anyway, go ahead.
So I think episode 6 is what caused him to like crash. I think there was like a part where they won like the gun shooting thing where Paul and Jack had this
the Hitman video game.
Yeah, and Jack started like losing it. He said he likes to torture people for fun. And I think it's just like him, just like, I might be wrong, but it's just him probably just venting. Maybe, I don't know. And I think 7, he becomes like more distant from his friends, and I think he has this some sort of like, I don't know if it's called, I guess you could say like abstraction or hallucination, where he like nearly abstracted until it gets interrupted by Pomni and Ragtha before they told him that there's a way to escape. And then you have him looking at one of those adventure orbs, one of the those snow adventures orbs, where Ribbit and Jax were like arguing. Now I couldn't quite understand like what they're saying, but you can tell like they're very angry. And he was like, God, and that's all I could like get through that. And Pomni just asked, saying, "Hey, are you okay?" And he says, "I'm great," even though that's not like how he felt.
I mean, honestly, I think that scene, that moment, I think it was like a combination of like from the moment when Jax was open with her, and then basically everything else that happened in the middle. I think it was kind of like a collection of all of these. Where it was going, yeah. So I think like basically it was kind of like a collection of all the things that happened since the confession time all the way till like a Ribbit became an abstraction. Basically, I think like. I think that's the way how I saw the snow scene thing.
At least you can hear the snow conversation like clearly now in the final episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just like, it's like really, it's like really unclear at first because it's like muffled, I guess you could say. But I think it's like more clearly now. And I think it's just like a lot of happened at this point. It's just like him bottle up emotions inside. So yeah, I mean that's just I think episode 6 is where like I think that's why we have one of those character focuses. Um like so for example, episode 3 we have Kinger and Zubul. Episode 4 we have Gangle. Episode 5 we have Ragatha. Episode 6 we have Jax. So I think there was like some sort of like something that happened with the fandom thinking that Pomni and Jax are the main characters when in actuality it's just like it's like all the other ones. Like you have to give them the spotlight too. So it's just like you have to give others a chance. It can't be just those two all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying is that, like, Jax, when it comes to his complexity, his overall character arc, journey, and everything. That's why I kind of, in a way, find him interesting, which is kind of strange because, like I said, I don't like him as a character, but like I like his character arc, basically. And so yeah, I mean, so that's one of the reasons why I find him interesting, because not only you basically add his defense mechanism, but also at the same time, after everything that happened to Ribbit and Kofma, you kind of see he kind of started blaming himself for what happened to them and the reason why they became abstractions, and then basically kind of like burying everything inside him, so basically not sharing his feelings anymore with anyone else, until of course, Pomni came along in a way, and that's one of the reasons. Also, one of the moments I love, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, but one of the also moments why what I love about Jax is basically when Pomni entered his mind, and basically you see like different versions of Jax, basically, which I kind of basically saw it as sort of like a kind of like basically element, but kind of like basically his different personalities. I think those were when they were like in different like worlds, and when we were playing poker. I kind of
Oh, yeah. It's
yeah
yeah, that one. I think one of the characters had like a Looney Tunes type of thing. There's like a Looney Tunes
mm,
reference. I think one of those rabbits, and then we have the maid Jax. That's like I don't know
yeah.
why, but my mind always wants him to dress up in Sailor Moon for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. It might not have it, but anyway, I don't know why he's like dressed up in a maid outfit like out of the blue. But hey, it's comedy. It's
Mm,
comedy, and then we have like another Jax playing the piano. I want to go back to like episode 5 real quick. I think episode 5. I think there was like some sort of a well, maybe not like Ribbit and Jack's type of conversation, but I think it's more of him like letting his feelings out. Um I think it's like more of him like playing with the emotions rather than just being real. Because episode 6 he was saying we were never friends. We were never friends. That's just him. Maybe part of the defense mechanism. And another
I
one at the maybe just like being a jerk.
I mean, honestly, I kind of, for me, the way, especially that moment with Pomni and him, I think I kind of saw it as a trying to push people away before they have a chance to leave him. I think like that. I think that's the reason. I think that's the. Okay, that's it.
Oh, what happened?
Trust me, you don't want to know.
Right. Well, what?
What? No. I'm not gonna mention it. I'm gonna say this in private. I'm not gonna say it during the live stream. But I will say this: like, it's just this guy really. Anyway, it just went over the line with a certain comment, which I'm not gonna say it out in the open. I'm gonna say it in private after we're done. Anyway. So what was I trying to say? Yeah. So basically, yeah. But to add it, like I said, that's the way how saw it. Basically, trying to push people away before they have a chance to lead him. I think, in my point of view, that's how I saw it. And and basically, when the different jacks is playing poker, I kind of like saw them as basically elements of basically as kind of like images of his basically personalities, basically like types of his personality, in a way.
Like different. I don't know if they're like different Jaxes in like different universes, because you have like a cat like Jax. I'm not saying he's actually a cat, but I think he's more of a I think he's like his irises are like really really big, because when you see the thumbnail for the episode 9 trailer, you see that his eyes are like really really big to the point where you can't see yellow. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, that's official. He's a cat. He's like a cat on the inside. He even jumps like a cat when he saw corn. It's like he's like a scaredy cat type of thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm just I'm just like saying that
I'll be right back.
okay, all right, you don't say that loud. But I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know if they're like split personalities, or if they're just like alternative universes of different kinds of Jacks. Where at one point, Gangle abstracted, and Zubul trying to chase the Looney Tunes Jacks down, and then you have another point where you have the Cat Jacks looking at Ragatha's door, who's like abstracted at some point, and
Mm.
you and just like choking Pomni to the point of death. I just want to say, you are not his toy. Just it's like catnip. I just want to get that laser, that light laser out, and just like say, just like use it, just like how those cat lasers.
Mm.
It's like a red dot, and the cat is like chase it. That's what I kind of feel like I have to do.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
um,
y- yeah, I mean that's what that's like I said. That's the reason why Jax's character, or should I say, Jax's character journey is for me was really interesting while I was watching the Amazing Digital Circus. Even though, like I said, I don't like him as a character per se, I definitely love his character journey. Absolutely.
mhm.
Yeah, but besides him, I mean, all the other characters for me were interesting, like from even Zubul and Ragatha, and I always forget her name. Uh,
Gangle,
yes, her as
Gangle,
well.
yeah,
Like,
the mask character, yeah, Gangle.
yeah, I mean, each and every one of them, like, they have their own like problems, flaws, and also the overall relationship they have with each other and everything. Especially like Zubul and Gangle, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yes, especially like Zubul and Gangle. Like, I really liked their relationship throughout the entire show. But again, between all of them, I would say definitely my first two will be definitely like Kane and Kinger. Those two are like my two favorite characters. I mean, Pomni's for me also out there,
Mhm.
but but again, kind of like Kane and Kinger for me, and Jax's character journey are kind of like beat beat Pomni, like like for a little bit. And that's
Well, I think another thing we have to like keep in mind. I mean,
mm,
Kane tech or not Kane, Kinger like technically made Kane
yeah,
made Kane. So, and like I think he probably like explained about like CNA in episode 8, and other characters. There's a dog named Scratch, and I think that's he's actually like teased. I didn't know about this, but I think I might be wrong. He probably might be teased in episode 4, and we might see. And there's like a picture. There's like a locket of a hot dog, and I just thought in like episode 7, and I thought that was like a joke, but I didn't even realize it. That was like I don't know if that's supposed to be like the scratch symbol or something, but he was actually the first to abstract, because that's what Kinger said. Scratch is actually the first to abstract before Kaufmo, before Ribbit.
Yeah, Kinger did say that, like when he said scratch the first abstraction,
Mhm.
which I correct. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I actually escaped me when I watched it, but I think Scratch was that dog avatar.
Yes, he was the dog.
Yeah, and basically it was the guy, and basically behind the dog was the guy who Kinger said had like a tumor in his head.
Yeah.
I get you, I
Mhm.
get you. But I have to say, which kind of leads me to my favorite moments. Uh, this kind of like a intro, basically. But at first, I was like, like which is one of the reasons for me why the story kind of felt a little bit predictable, because I first I thought, that okay, these guys are basically being trapped in a chamber or somewhere, basically, and their like thoughts and brain basically were like transporting to this like digital world and something like that basically, and Kane like being an AI and everything is the reason why they're trapped there. That's at first what I thought, the way how the story was going. But then when I saw the finale, I was like, okay, that is a good twist. The whole brain scan, where basically it was revealed that they were not like actual how can I put this, like actual not avatars, I would say they were not like actual people, which their minds were basically transporting to the digital world. That they were actual characters with memories and personalities of their original human selves. If you understand what I'm saying,
Yes.
I would say that for me was like a really good twist. Like I said, they didn't use the same prop where basically people were trapped somewhere and then basically their minds were transferred into a digital world. No, they were basically copy paste and throw them and thrown into this world where they were created as like totally original characters. I really like that, which kind of also is a really cool addition to where basically like you kind of get the idea why they don't remember their names, why the Kane gave them their own names and everything. I like that.
I think I think he probably lied in episode 1 when he said that he couldn't control like remembering their names when I think that probably was brought up in episode 7 because he was the one that come up with the names. And I think in episode 9 he actually had like I think it was like a projector where he reveals the circus cast members' actual names and who they are, what their jobs are, their personalities, stuff like that. So I think that's interesting to put it at the end.
Hmm.
So I was used to like the character names, not the actual real names.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, but also like but which kind of brings me to this. I want to ask you guys what are your like your favorite moments throughout all the 9 episodes of the Amazing Digital Circus. So, Paulie, you start with this.
So the favorite moments you said.
Yep.
I think well, I think it's really hard to say. I don't want to say it's hard to say because there may be some moments. I think there are some like sad moments, especially. I kind of like the interaction between Pomni and Kinger again, and her bringing up the haunted house episode. And I think it's kind of like encouragement from him again. So, and I think we have like the friendship between Pomni and Ragatha. So I think Pomni and Ragatha have like Pomni's like scared and traumatized in episode 1,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like Ragatha is trying to make her feel more welcome, um, more of herself. But I think it's more of I don't know how to put this. I think she's more focused on the trauma, while Ragatha is more focused on like being more nice. So I guess it's just like there's like shared differences, and I think they kind of like made it up in episode 6, and they probably developed their friendship more through the rest of the episodes. So episode 9, I think we have more of like a understanding type of thing. I kind of felt bad for the flashbacks. So I think when I saw the abstraction, I actually thought it was Kaufmo at first.
Mm.
I think Jax was abstracted off screen, and when Pomni was hugging the abstraction, it goes through the flashbacks and and like everything that's going on up to Ribbit's abstraction and Kaufmo's
Mhm.
abstraction. So I think it leads us. I think it's like an understanding is like what he's going through, and I think like every time he makes a friend, it just leaves him like something must have happened, for example. And I think it's just that. What's wrong? Just don't answer. Don't just answer.
Okay.
Don't answer. Okay, so I think turn your phone off.
Hmm.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I think what I'm trying to say is I think there's like more of a flashback of like what's going on. I think it's more of like she's not actually here, but I think it's more of like how Ribbit got. I think we see the first time when Jax first appeared at the circus, and then we see I think a couple weeks later, maybe after Ribbit abstracted, we've seen Gangle enter the circus. So I think it's just like how the times go on, we can actually see like how everything is like how the circus functions throughout the years. I think it's like it does have an in-depth character, as TK says, and it tugs at my string when we actually see like Jax and Pomni hug, and then
Oh yeah, that was a powerful moment.
yeah, that was a very it really tugged at my heartstrings. You gotta have to give him
Hmm.
yeah, I kind of feel bad for him, and I thought he was actually going to come back, but when we saw Zubal's arm trying to pull Pomni back, I think it's abstraction. It's kind of like suicide. You can't return from a suicide once you abstract or once you kill yourself.
Yeah.
You can like do something. Like I think they put the abstraction in like a huge pillow fort, like doing anything to like make him more comfortable.
Yeah. You
And
see,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I
That was
think
just go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
it's okay. You're good. You're good. I think for the abstraction, he may not come back, but I think there might be a way in which the abstraction can be like comfortable, like being in a huge pillow fort. But when it comes to like suicide, that person who committed suicide isn't going to come back, but you can actually have like some sort of like a program saying, hey, these are ways that you can prevent suicide from happening. You can seek a counselor. You could talk to your parents about it. You could seek therapy. I think it's like I actually read this on Reddit because I think it's interesting to think that abstraction is more like suicide, and you can't return from a suicide. I think there's my mind is like I kind of wish that happened, but you know perfectly well it's like it's kind of like predictable. Like you knew at
Yeah.
that point Jax is probably gonna be abstracting.
Mm.
So that's why it's important. The moral of the story is if you're going through something or if someone is going through something, seek help or talk to someone, because at that point, if you don't, it's probably going to reach your breaking point and it's probably going to get you deeper, further and further.
I agree. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. So, what about you, TK? What are your favorite moments?
I think I just wanted to think about it a little bit. Why don't you go and then I'll go?
Okay, I'll try to be quick as possible because through the entire show, including the final act, like there's been quite a few actually really good moments. The one actually we mentioned a couple of times is definitely the Pomni and Kinger moment in the haunted mansion. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
it was really powerful. emotional, and also kind of like we explored the character of Kinger in a totally different light and everything. I really loved going through Jax's memories, kind of like understanding his character, where he comes from, the reasoning why he's a jerk, and everything, through like his different personalities, and also then later on Pomni hugging him and everything. Like that entire sequence was really great. I like it.
Oh yeah, the title sequence from the beginning of episode 9.
Yeah, the whole intro, and basically is finishing with Kaufmo's like like basically like a
Like
wood,
going
like
through the names instead of saying Kaufmo, they said Pomni, and then it just ends like with a loop.
yeah, exactly. But what I love about it is basically Kaufman being this kind of like
Oh
I
yeah, the cardboard. Yeah.
yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. I love that the Kaufman was like this cardboard, basically poster of himself and everything. Then basically later on you end up like, Kaufman is not here because like there's been some issues with him and everything. Like I love that. Very ingenious. Uh, but besides that, like I had to also add, I loved Kane's basically going insane and everything, or should I say, going on an insane rampage. That was also a great moment. I also loved his redemption in the end, the entire sequence. But
Oh yeah, the
besides,
redemption is good too.
but besides that, like the one of the other moments I really liked was like between Pomni and the gummy alligator.
Oh yeah, gummy
Yeah,
goo.
when they were like stuck in basically in the Matrix. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I liked everything about it, and also I have to, which kind of adds me to one of my favorite things about the show, is the overall humor. Every single scene when the swear words are censored, that for me was pure comedy gold. For me, I loved every single one, especially Zubul. I think out of all of them, Zubul is the one who swear the most
Oh yeah.
out of all of them. And another scene that I really loved was the whole noir bar.
Oh yeah, the noir bar is good. It's kind of like the 50s type of atmosphere you would get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that part. Like basically all of them, like drinking and kind of like trying to share their thoughts about like who they were, who they are, and like in real life and everything. But the other thing I also have to mention is the Kane explanation, like who they are and what they were, basically what they were doing ever since their brains were scanned. Basically, kind of like showing the characters their real life doppelgangers. Basically, the whole presentation that for me was really great. But also the credit scene in the end, where you see like real life versions of them, kind of like waiting for the
Oh
bus.
yeah, yeah, that one was really good.
That was a really cute, nice touch. I like that.
I like the one. I like the credit scene before, and there's that one part of the credit scene where you see heart shapes. I don't know if it was in Gangle's room or Zubal's room, but as you recall, I think they actually censored it on YouTube, but I think on Netflix, Zubal says, "I want the ability to have sex." Well, I guess Zubal just have their dreams come true because that's actually what they're trying to do. So, but yeah, I think it's nice having Kane's redemption back. I didn't even think he was going to return. I actually thought he was like done for.
I kind of predicted he might come back because I thought like eliminating him in the pre-ultimate episode was like way too early. So I kind of had a feeling he might return. He might have returned, but what I thought was that he's gonna be again the villain. But then basically he later on returned as a basically sort of like a redeemed character and everything. But I will say this: I thought he was gonna bring all the characters back. I felt like he was gonna cure them from being abstractions and everything, But like at the same time, I wanted that, but also on the same time, I was happy with it that they were left as fractions. Like basically you have a happy ending, but there were also some like consequences left in it as well. I like that. It was a really nice touch. So basically, it is a happy ending, but not entirely. Sort of like a bittersweet ending. Basically, that's the way how I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that okay. The whole guns and blazing that was hilarious for me. Like again, it basically looked like Digital Circus turned into Fortnite. I like that with like some with some like Hitman elements. I like that, and also one of the reasons why I love that moment is because like you see Pomni and kind of Jax bonding, even though they went cuckoo, but like they were still bonding in a crazy, bizarre way. That was one of the things I loved. Yeah,
Speaking,
and
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Speaking of Fortnite, there is I just heard that I don't know if it happened yet or not, but there's a promo in which the Amazing Digital Circus is going to come to Fortnite, and the only characters we have are Jackson Pomney. And Pomney's character in Fortnite looks taller. I
Yeah,
It kind of looks a little weird. I don't play Fortnite that often. I'm not a gamer, but that's actually what I've heard, and I didn't even think that was going to happen.
I mean, I don't play Fortnite at all. I personally I think the game is ridiculous, but I mean because I'm much of a like great video game plus great story guy
Hmm.
basically instead of
Yeah.
like mindless building, destroying, and shooting.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, but because that's basically how I see Fortnite, honestly. I mean, even though I the only praise I can give them is the character designs. That's the only praise I can give them. The character designs in general. And seeing Galactus in Fortnite that was kind of cool. But anyway, to go back to the Digital Circus, uh, we still have. Oh, where's TK?
he has a phone call. His dad's trying to call him. But okay, go ahead. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, I was trying to see what other favorite moments I have from the show. I'm really I was trying. I mean, like I would say episode 1 to 4, yeah, to 4. Yeah, every single moment was like very basic, but since like it was like the beginning of the story, kind of makes sense why they are basic. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can also add I like that Mad Max Wild West type of like chase between them and the gummy alligators. That was kind of like cool and fun in a way. But basically, yeah. But basically, I will also add every interaction that the characters had between each other. I think like that for me was like favorite parts of like when it comes to favorite moments for sure.
I kind of like. I think my. I was gonna say I kind of hated this, but like the least favorite of episode 2 is near the end when they got back to the circus and they have Gummy Goo with him. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah, and Kane saw him and destroyed the NPC, making Pomni more traumatized. And then we
but
see Gummy Goo again, and
but
Gummy Goo doesn't even remember what.
exactly.
Oh, Gummy Goo doesn't even remember Pomni.
Nope.
It's just like a normal NPC. So you see other characters that appeared in previous episodes in episode 4. So you have the Gloinks Queen, you have a random NPC, and then you have the alligator bandits.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, like when I was watching episode 2, and you see him going with the others in inside the digital circus, and then basically Kane appeared, and then basically say, "Oh, an NPC. Well, we have to remedy that." Boom, and he's gone. Like honestly, I was like, okay, that came out of nowhere. I was like, why? Like I was just like you, like why would you do that? And then
Yeah,
basically later on when they were doing the whole fast food like episode basically, which honestly I'll be honest here, I know that episode was kind of like a character development for the mask character, I keep forgetting
Gangle.
Gangle. i
Gangle.
know that I know that the entire episode was kind of like a character development for Gangle, but I would say that sequence for me was like one of my least favorites for me, honestly, the whole fast food thing.
I think the fast food is like much more. It's kind of like a parody to like McDonald's. It's like a.
It's
It's
definitely a
trying
parody of
to
McDonald's.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I liked about it was basically the whole stupid sauce thing. Like that's the only part of the episode I really like because it kind of adds more to the mystery what basically Kane does to them and everything through like all these adventures and all. Like that's the only thing I liked. And also Gangle being almost hit by truck. Hit by truck. I felt like that was like a little bit too far. Basically got like Gangle doing the whole singing in the rain type of like moment, and then all of a sudden like you see Gangle falling on the road, and then all of a sudden you see lights of a truck, and I was like okay, that's a bit much. I mean, poor Gangle.
It happened to Gangle again when
Mhm.
we see like during Kane's crash out where they have their deepest fears. I mean, you have like a bunch of what are they called? Easel boards or something.
Mhm.
And there's like full of emotions, and as they spin faster, the mask is starting to melt. And then out of the blue, you have a truck running towards Gangle. So I
Yeah.
think another thing is Zubal's fear. I don't know what it was. I think it was some sort of like a body stuff. I don't know. But there's like a bunch of parts that are like mounting, and there's just like a bunch of body parts like grabbing Zubal. It kind of had a reminder of Toy Story 2 during Woody's nightmare, where you have a bunch of arms grabbing Woody, saying that Andy doesn't want to play with you anymore
Yeah.
because
Okay.
you have a ripped
That,
arm.
that is a good comparison. That is a good
It
comparison.
does. It kind of looks like that if you look closely at it.
But I have to say, it was so disturbing when basically you see Jack's skin getting torn apart.
Well, I'm sorry. What was it?
When Kane was torturing them, and basically there was a scene where Jax was standing around, was basically
Oh, when they're laughing. Yeah.
shadows. Yes, and you
Yes. Yes.
see people grabbing him, and they're like tearing his skin, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Okay, that is not only dark, but it's disturbing and like too far."
Yeah.
You know.
It does.
So
It does kind of look dark. Now we understand why it's not for kids anymore. I mean,
exactly, absolutely. Because that's one of the reasons why I actually one of the pluses I have also for Amazing Digital Circus, because at first it kind of makes you think it starts like oh, it's just for little kids, but as the story progresses, you think like, oh, this is definitely not for kids, like this is for like maybe teenagers to like young adults. Like there's no way this is for kids. Absolutely.
there was that one
Which,
incident. There's that one incident like one time. I don't know if it was an incident or not, but they marked the episode 4 as YouTube Kids, and then I don't know if they removed it or not. I'm pretty sure they did.
I think they
And
did.
yeah, they did. So I don't know why it's marked that, because I think you have a lot of stuff that are not like appropriate for kids in a
Mm,
way. Like for example, Gangle getting hit by a truck.
yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
it's like the torture stuff like that. But I don't
Which
know.
kind of, but one thing for certain, we can agree: this is not. This is definitely not for kids.
Oh,
Absolutely.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Which
course.
kind of brings me. Speaking of being for no kids, how about you, TK? What are your favorite moments of the show?
Hmm. Well, Jack's abstracting. I like that one. I would compare that one just the way it makes you feel to when Vegeta blew himself up. Um, Kind of like the similar emotion. Um, I liked. I think one of my favorite things was Kane's redemption. I really liked that. I thought that was well done. I mean, I side with you on villains. I like when villains are like just like villains and like there's no like coming back from it. But I also kind of like the redemption too. And I think this
Yep.
one was well done because it was his was hard to kind of like see how you'd come back from it, but I liked it. Um, and I mean, just the overall ending to the thing, I thought was I really liked. Um, I thought it was well done. Um, I also liked the moments between Pomni and Jax. I thought they were cool. Um, I thought they were well done. I thought the character dynamic was cool. I guess the only thing I would say is I wish that no. I think it was good how it was.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have any more?
Um, also the I also liked the the stuff with Kinger. Um, the moments with Kinger, I thought they were nice. I thought they were well done. Um, I think, I mean, I guess what I liked more so than the moments was the character, like the character, not development, but the character chemistry. I thought that was well done.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Which you see, you mentioned like one of your favorite moments was when Jax became an abstract. Uh, you see, that is as I like to call it, like right now we're in the chapter cheers and boos. Jax becoming an abstract off screen. I didn't like that. I,
Yeah,
I, I, I would have much preferred if we had like a sort of like a journey towards this abstract like transformation. And basically, because at first I thought like, okay, maybe it was Kaufmo or Ribbit or any other
Yeah.
abstractions basically
Mhm.
cut loose. But when you realize, oh my God, it's Jax, I'm like, wait a minute, when did when the hell did he become an abstraction? Like, I was like, okay, like this literally came out of nowhere. So I would have much preferred if they actually kind of explored how he became an abstraction, in the end and everything. Because honestly, when basically from the time when they were trying to rebuild the what is or should I say try to fix what was left of the digital circus, where basically you see him like walking in the shadows, and then like from the time when he became an abstraction. I mean, I'm sorry, like for me personally, that came out of nowhere. It just simply went off like way too quickly. So if I had to put my negatives, I would say like that for me is like my biggest negative. Jax being transformed into abstraction off screen. Which kind of brings me to this. Uh, what if you would have any negatives about this show in general? What would they be?
I mean, as you said in like episode 9, I think it kind of like confused me because we see an abstraction and we assume it was Kaufmo, and I thought like, oh, Kaufmo's out there. That's interesting. I thought he abstracted because you can't undo an abstraction. But and I think it's kind of a little bit misleading because like you said, the abstraction of Jax happened off screen, and it just like I think it kind of like confused me a bit. But once you get like near the end of his flashbacks, um you kind of see him like really deep in the abstraction. Like I honestly didn't know that was Jax. I actually thought that was Kaufmo.
Hmm.
So I guess that's the only thing of it. There are some people, and it's probably not from me. This isn't from my opinion. There are some people saying that there are other characters that didn't get enough screen time, like because the movie is mainly focused on Pomni and Jax, and maybe Ribbit and Kaufmo. But I think we actually already saw like some development because that's why there's character episodes. That's why there's character episodes. I mean, you already got a glance of their personalities. What more do you need?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you because like when I hear like some of them didn't have enough screen time, I'm like, dude, before the final act, you have 8 episodes, and literally in every single episode, each and every one of them had their moment to shine. each and every one of them had their arcs developed. You figure out who they are, where they come from, their overall relationship with the others. Like what more do you need? I mean,
Mhm.
like I mean, I think like the people are saying that some of them didn't have enough screen time. I think they were talking about the final act storyline. I think
Yeah,
they're not talking about the show in general.
right.
But if you try to combine everything together, uh, it doesn't make any sense why you will think there is no like there was no like enough like character time in the final act, because literally every single one of them was explored before episode 9. So I think like because for me the final act I kind of basically saw it not simply as a finale but also like a combination of everything that happened ever since episode 1. So saying that they don't have they don't have enough screen time, for me, sounds a little bit like nonsense. So I do agree with you on that part.
Yeah, and I think another thing is, I think there was like, I think a couple months before the movie came out,
Hmm.
where there's like the fandom is like really hateful for like saying Jax and Pomni should be the main characters while the others are just like background characters. And I thought, no wonder Gooseworks deleted her Reddit account, because I think it's much more of the criticism. They it's like they're expecting the creator to like to please their needs. Well, first of all, you have to understand that not only Goose is the creator, but you have to remember that Goose is also human too. Like, same thing with the actors too. The actors who voice the characters in the show, they're human too. They have lives. It's not just acting strictly. They have lives to live with. I think it's just the fan. I think it's actually, it wasn't directed towards the movie, but I think what happened like before the movie premiere, there's like and I kind of mentioned it to you when I texted you, is there's a leak of the movie in Brazilian dub.
Hmm.
Now thankfully I kind of heard about it. I might have seen a blurb, but I probably don't know if it's actually real or not. So
I've
thank
heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
yeah, so thankfully I probably didn't see it. I might have seen it, but I don't know if it's like real or fake. But regardless, I just have to like, people like need to be careful like if they're like going to watch a movie, because that's why people are like so hateful when it comes to like putting YouTube shows on like movie theaters, because they're trying to avoid spoilers. And the movie premiered in June 4th, and that's 2 weeks into when it's going to premiere on YouTube and Netflix. Because I think it's just like they want like, I think they like the format of YouTube. They're doing the last episode because this is like the grand finale. This is like the closing curtain to everything that's happened, tying up loose ends, all that stuff.
Hmm.
And people, you got to be grateful that Goose is putting all the effort into this movie, especially with the color. I'm guessing, and I might be wrong, that Goose has stayed until 2 to like finish this at 2 in the morning. I don't know if I'm exaggerating this. I'm just like, the point is like, I think it's like an all nighter for Goose
I mean,
because
yeah, I mean, I don't know all the details about how it was done, but I have heard somewhere
yeah,
that the creator like really worked hard
yeah.
to make not simply the final episode, but like everything, try to make it as perfect as possible. Like that's the only thing I've heard. Like that he the creator really worked really hard to complete everything the best. But wait, is Goose? I'm sorry to say this. It's Goose a man or a girl?
So Goose is actually, well, I think Goose uses she or they for those.
Ah, I
Yeah,
see. I
I know.
see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So yeah, Goose. Yeah, so Goose is technically a woman.
Okay.
They on this.
No, I was just curious because I never seen the picture of the creator. That's I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I only heard the name,
yeah.
so that's why I was asking. But basically, yeah, the only thing I heard of was basically the creator really having a hard time trying to make the show and the finale as perfect as possible. And which kind of brings me to one thing that you said like a few minutes ago. Uh, that like that's one of the biggest gripes, I would say, in a way, I have with fandom in general,
Mhm.
is that whenever, like in this case, like whenever there's a finale and it doesn't go the way how the majority theorized, discussed, guessed, how how in their minds should end, they immediately start a mutiny, immediately, because the in this case the finale wasn't the way how they imagine it. And every time I'm like, dude, all of the things you said are just theories and guesses. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the creator's story. He knows the beginning, the middle, or like, and the ending. I'm just talking in general. Like the storytellers know the beginning, the middle, and the ending. It's their story. It's told the way how they imagine it. They're like they think, like some of them they put in their heads, they believe that it should be told the way how they want to. Like basically some of them believe, or the way how they talk, it makes you believe that they believe, like, every single episode, it's like, the storytellers listening to the fans wishes, like, okay, we're gonna put this, okay, we're gonna put in this episode this. I'm like, bullshit. It's their story. I
Yeah.
mean, like, the majority, I mean, newsflash, the majority of the storytellers, they do not listen to fans. They told their story the way how they always imagine it to be. And like, if I have to put it in the Tony Gilroy way, who the guy who created Endor, I don't give a shit about the fans. I don't give a shit about fan service. I just want to tell my story. And that's the general mentality of storytellers. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, the problem is they sometimes fans, they take this too personally.
Yeah, I think it's more like, I think Goose mentioned, like, I think she said something about like the show is becoming bigger than her, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah, the show is becoming bigger than her, and it's just causing her to let go of the show in some way or something, like breaking off from the show. Like, I think falling out of love would be kind of the way to describe it in some way, because I guess it's like it's just getting too much with her, especially like with all the hate from the
Mm.
fans. It's just like, let's just say, let Goose tell the story how it wants to be told,
Mhm.
rather than just
Exactly.
like rather than just like rather than just like pleasing them. You want to give like a satisfactory, you want to give like a maybe a good ending, but something with it, like a consequence type of thing, in a way. So, or bittersweet. I think bittersweet might be a better word. So just like
Yeah.
tell it the way how it needs to be told.
Hmm.
Don't go astray listening to fans, because if you do that, the story's probably going to be all wrong and off
I
topic.
agree.
I
No,
agree.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely.
Although I
Now,
think it all goes back to it all goes back to sort of an old saying, which I don't know how old it is, but beware success.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it will bring the positives, but it will also bring the negative. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I can imagine, like, if I try to create a story and try to transform it into, like, let's say a TV series, I can imagine a lot of people will be after my ass as well. If I did something that they never imagined it to be, if I did something that will go against their beliefs, their fandom, or whatever, like,
I have an
it's fine.
example,
No.
like say eating pizza in the bath.
Oh, TK, don't say that.
Now, I don't think that that's very hygienic, and also in the same time, all the bubbles will go into onto your pizza. I mean, you will have a terrible stomach ache. Nah, no, 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 thank you, no, thank you. You know, I mean, I know you and I know someone who might have tried that, but nah,
Unfortunately,
it's not my cup of tea. Yeah, which kind of brings me, not my cup of tea, which kind of brings me to you, TK. What will be your negatives for the Amazing Digital Circus?
my one negative, I only have one. I mean, I can see why you wouldn't do it, but for me, it would have been a little bit more impactful. I would have liked to see like a scene at the end of the finale where Jax is like back to normal, like where he comes back. Um, that's my only thing I'm really negative about with it, honestly.
Fair
Um,
enough.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can justify why they didn't do it, but that would be the only thing that I kind of would have liked.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I get you. But for me, like I said, again, going back to myself, I mean, like I don't have any too many negatives, honestly. For the Amazing Digital Circus, because personally for me, I mean, everything was almost done, like really well. I'm not gonna say almost to perfection, but like it was the majority was really done like really well. Even though, like I said, some of the moments were, you know, when it comes to storytelling, were predictable because there were a lot of props that we have seen before, like hundreds and thousands of times. But still, the way how Goose and the others utilized it and everything was still, like, very creative and brilliant. Like, again, my only negative is showing Jax becoming an abstraction off screen. I felt like that was like the only negative I have, honestly. Now, before we go to the score, one thing I also have to mention, I mean, before we close this review, I mean, I have to mention it. Kane's singing number.
Yeah.
Oh yes, so good, so
Oh
good.
my! I mean, first and foremost, I'm a sucker when it comes to villain songs,
Hmm.
and like the music, the lyrics. I'm really kind of curious if Goose did the lyrics for
I
the
don't think
song.
I don't think Goose wrote the lyrics. Actually, I mean, I know there was a song that's like if there's like Spotify and you look up running the show, it does show up under Goose names, but she didn't like technically write the lyrics in that.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. But I have to say this after seeing that number. I have to say the voice actor from Kane, the voice actor who voiced Kane, deserves a raise.
Yeah.
Honestly, because he really did a really good job. All the like the animation, the moments. Like, also, I forgot about talking about the animation for a brief moment. Like, the animation, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like, from like, with each and every episode, it kind of made me feel. It kind of made me think that the animation got better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because because when I was like rewatching all the episodes from before, I mean, I kind of started to realize the difference, like how the episode one started, and then basically all the way till episode eight. Like the show, like the animation changed. I'm not gonna say drastically, but it did change to the better. Like more and more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah. That, but again, the animation is another thing I have to really, really praise it.
Well, that villain song, that made me think of, what song it kind of reminds me of a little bit? Do you remember Second Rate?
What?
Do you remember Second Rate from Aladdin, The Return of Jafar?
Oh my God! I haven't seen Return of Jafar in a long time,
It kind of reminds me of
but
that
I
song.
vaguely remember that song. Yeah.
For me, that song and This Is the Thanks I Get are like the two best Disney villain songs. And this song I would put the song right in there.
Oh, come on! You can't just simply throw into the trash songs like "Be Prepared" and "Hellfire." Come on, those are also really great villain songs.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
I mean, come on. I mean, I get it, but "Be Prepared" and "Hellfire" are like hardcore when it comes to villainy.
Well, I love
You
Be
know,
Prepared because, like, on the back half of that track, I love listening to it and realizing that it's Winnie the Pooh singing it.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Uh, Speaking of this, the thanks I get, like funny that you mentioned it. Kane's song, it kind of remind me of that.
Yeah, I can kind of hear that too.
Like because when I because I was listening to the song over and over again on YouTube, and then one time actually I listened to the Thanks I Get song, and then basically when I started listening King Magnifico's like lyrics, I was like, that kind of reminds me of something, but I don't know from where. And then I rewatched Kane, and I was like, oh, now I know where, because the lyrics, the message behind it, they're kind of similar a little bit
Yeah.
in a way, you know. So yeah, but that's the one thing I just wanted to mention, which kind of brings me to this. Now, I'm going to try to make it a little bit interesting. I want you to give me your score from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, whichever you prefer, from like for like the entire series, and a score for the final act on its own. Take as much as time as you need.
Do you want to go first?
Do you want to go first?
You go first.
I'm still thinking.
Okay. So my overall score, I'd give it a 10. I think.
Wow.
Because it was. I mean, I don't think there's anything I would really change overall. I might have tried to, like, if Goose ever goes back and gives it the Dragon Ball treatment and like remasters anything, that would be the only thing I would do is remaster it so like the animation is like more consistent. But that's the only thing I would do really.
Is that for the series or is that for the movie?
That's for the series.
That's for the series. Okay.
Now as far as the movie goes, I might give that a 9.5 out of 10. Only because I would have liked to see Jax come back at the end.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And you, Paulie?
I would give a 10 out of 10 for the series. I think the series is really good so far. I would give a 9 out of 10 for the finale. Like I said, I kind of wish Jax's abstraction is on screen instead of off screen, so that way it's like not misleading or anything like that. But other than that, I think 9 out of 10 would be a reasonable score to give.
Oh boy, it's a good thing I started last.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it might shock you, but okay. So as a series overall, from like episode 1 to episode 9, I give the show an 8 out of 10. And the reason why I'm going again, and the reason why I'm not going that high is because, again, it's just because of my experience. Because again, like I told you, some of the things were predictable, and some of the props and storytelling is something that that at least for me, I have already seen it like thousands of times. But again, it doesn't take me away from a lot of times being surprised, the twists, the turns, the revelations, the animation, the really hard work that Goose and the Glitch Productions crew really tried to do with the Amazing Digital Circus. Like, none of this takes it away. But if I have to be, but again, I mean, as a fan, I would definitely go maybe just like UTK, maybe like a 10 out of 10. But but again, seeing it from like both sides and everything, I think as an overall, I would say it's a solid 9. It's a solid 8. However, for the finale itself on its own, I will give it a 9. A solid 9. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, I might be a bit too harsh, but that's the way how I see it. But
one thing, actually, two things. One thing I would say is one thing I would be a little bit critical about is they released episode 8 and 9 in the theaters together. I wish they had done. I wish they had not released episode 8 when they did, and they just done it a combo deal in the theaters because I
Mm.
thought it was so much better on the big screen. I thought like, I mean, let me say that differently. I thought if it had been my first time seeing it on the big screen, it would have been so much better on the big screen.
I mean,
So that would be one thing I would say. The other thing I would say is I like how they ended the final because I think they ended it in such a way that like 5 years from now, if Goose like felt like it, she could go back in and like start writing new stories.
fair enough. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I will definitely agree with you that if they didn't show episode 8 on YouTube and basically release it alongside episode 9 in the theater, I think maybe the effect would have been much more bigger, much more powerful. I definitely agree with that one. But again, I will say this: it was really fun, especially the Kane song. I think it was really fun, seeing in the theater again, especially like I said on the big screen. I thought that was fun. The only thing I was kind of sad because oh my god, one thing I was sad about was that I was the only one singing.
Oh,
Every single one was silent.
jeez.
I mean, yeah, because to be fair, I've seen one of the YouTube shorts. Someone like recorded in the theater when the Kane number came, and basically it was a sing along. Honestly, it was a sing along, and it was so touching and wonderful. But then basically, but for me, it was like so. This was a dream, Fantasyland, and then like okay, now we go to reality, and the reality is I was the only one in the theater singing.
Just,
Of course, I mean, I wasn't singing out loud.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But honestly, for me, during that moment, I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just gonna sing. I don't care what people say. Honestly, and even though even though I do remember, like on the right side of me was like a family. I think it was like two kids. No, three kids and their parents. And I do remember that that the wife and one of the children was like watching me while I was singing. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I just feel like in the dark because like it's crazy for me because like I'm watching the screen, but at the same time I can notice someone was watching me, even though my eyes were like on the screen. It's crazy, but I just simply like turn my head on, I turn my head on them, and I was like, I was basically going like this, like basically like yeah, I'm singing. So what? Sue me. Yeah, yeah.
I want to
It's
go back to the what TK said about episode 8 and 9 being together. I
Go ahead.
think when so far I have Netflix. So Amazing Digital Circus is on Netflix. So episodes 1 through 7 are the ones that are there so far.
Mhm.
I'm guessing it made sense. It makes sense to have 8 and 9 together because you're at a point saying like, okay, it's supposed to be an hour and a half, which is how much the movie is. Because without episode 8, it's probably gonna be like an hour short. And you're short by a half hour.
I
So
think I think episode 9 on its own because if I recall correctly, episode 8 was like around 30 to 35 minutes long. I think.
33, somewhere like that, yeah.
Okay, give or take. So it was like 33 minutes long, which will make the episode 9 maybe around 40-ish something minutes long. I think.
So
Because
wait,
because
yeah,
all of it together is like an hour and a half.
hour and a half. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if the move so okay so if episode 8 is like 33 minutes long,
Mhm.
that means episode 9 would either be an hour or around maybe 50 something minutes long. That's my guess.
That would be 80. So it'll be like hour 20 something.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Probably around that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my overall calculation, But I mean, yeah. But so basically, what do you think? Like, should have episode 8 been released with the movie and not on YouTube, or
I mean, what I'm trying to get at, I'm just saying it makes more sense that I mean, it makes sense if you have like episode 8 and 9 separate on YouTube, but you have it together if it's a movie in theaters, because you already aired episode 8 on YouTube. Now we just need to wait for 9, and if you combine those together, it's gonna be like an hour, maybe 20 minutes, give or take.
yeah,
I'm just saying it makes more sense because I didn't see episode 8 yet on YouTube, and it's been like what, like 3 months since it aired. So I'm
yeah, give or
guessing
take.
it's supposed to be like 8 or 9. I'm gonna say like the last act. I'm guessing maybe either in the series or have it like a separate, make it a separate movie instead of just like putting it in the series.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you. You know, but although personally for me, you know, I had to be on board with TK on this one because like maybe I would have much preferred if episode 8 and 9 were released as a movie without releasing episode 8 on YouTube. Honestly, because like you know,
Oh,
and all,
okay, yeah, I see what you mean now.
I'm also going to say something that might not be as popular, but I also wouldn't be opposed to them Goose having like a different, like some small differences like between the movie and like the Netflix version, because I know sometimes they'll do that. I wouldn't be
mhm.
opposed to that either. Like if there were any differences, I mean, I don't know if there are going to be any, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if there were.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Which kind of brings me to this before we lock this up. Uh, okay, so and again, big if, and I kind of personally I don't think they will do it, but okay, basically this question is in two parts. Uh, would you wish for the Digital Circus to return as a season 2, and and do you think Goose and Glitch would actually do it, or do you think basically also adding to the second part of the question, like do you think like this is it, we're not going to do it, we're not going to do this anymore?
Do you want to go first? Or?
I mean, I think honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, part of me would be curious to see what they do next if they continued it. Um, I think that if they do it, they need to wait like a couple years. I don't, because like I think that like fatigue is real. So I mean, as the MCU's demonstrated, so I think they should learn a lesson from Feige and take like a year or two at least. Um, but the one thing I would say is I'm not sure how creatively it would shake out. Part of me thinks that Netflix would sort of maybe buy Goose out a little bit. Like Goose would be a contributor, but like Netflix would have more control over it. And part of me thinks that like Goose might go for that. I don't know. I'm torn on that. I mean, I wouldn't want Goose to lose complete control because I don't think she should. But I think that YouTube buying them out might be partially a solution.
Okay, what about you, Paulie?
So I don't think there's probably going to be a season 2 for the Digital Circus. I kind of think it makes more sense as it were in 9 episodes because it's finally closing the story. But I think from what I've heard, I don't think they're quite. You okay?
Mhm.
I don't think they're quite done with it just yet. But we're not sure. I'm just not sure if like I'm just a little torn because the story's already complete. Like I mean, I don't think there's any reason to like give it a second season. You could try like maybe a spin-off or something. Maybe a spin-off, but I don't know if Glitch is going to give it like the green light. So it maybe there won't be a season 2, but I was hoping that there may be like something to see more of the characters that we see in the Digital Circus world.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For me personally, uh, for me it's gonna be a little bit complicated because like the majority of myself, I don't want him. I don't want him to do a season two, honestly, because I do agree that the way how the story is told, it kind of makes you believe, like, this is it. We're not gonna do this anymore. Like we told the story from A to Z. Like we told everything, like that we wanted. Like this is it. You know, uh, so even though personally, like I said, the biggest part of me, I don't I don't think they'll do it, and I actually don't want him to do this basically. Even though I know there's going to be a lot of people, especially if the fans, they're going to beg for a season two, because it's kind of like an epidemic today. Like, when you have a TV show that basically starts kind of like a mini series, and then basically everyone's like, we want more, we want more, we want more, we want a season two, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Why, and sometimes it makes me really struggle, like, and asking myself, like, why can't I just simply let it go? Let it be the way how it is. I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the people cannot be satisfied for what Glitch has given them and everything. I mean, in this case, but anyway, I can definitely see some possibilities and some ideas. What they could do as a season two. Like I can see some possibilities, some open, basically some. I won't call them loopholes, but like there are some elements that could open the door to a season two. Absolutely. And I do agree. They could do spin-offs. They can do even a prequel, basically going back to the original avatars. Let's put it that way. Like, they can go back to the original Circus.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that. They can do spin-offs like I did with that one show with Kaufman. It's basically explaining how he became an abstraction. They can do that with different characters. Absolutely. Like there are all sorts of ideas, all sorts of things they could do when it comes to spin-offs or prequels. But continuing the story, honestly, I don't see them actually doing it.
Yeah.
That for me personally. Even though being on Netflix and everything, I can definitely see Netflix kind of like pushing them to do it. Honestly, because like the digital circus, they have they have like a big number of fans. It kind of pushes their views and everything. I mean, it makes them profits and all that. Like I get it, but honestly, again, I don't know how Ted Sarando's minds works and everything, but I don't think he would have taken Goose's control away. I don't think he would. I think like because Goose being the mind and heart behind it, I think it would have been suicidal to basically take control away from its creator.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so I think like they would what I think could happen. I could see them like basically giving her more control, more finances. And more like open doors to kind of like continue this project, basically in her own image, so to speak. So again, so I have to disagree with you, TK. I don't think Netflix. I think it would have been dumb for them to kind of basically take her control away and basically just simply make her as an executive producer. I don't think that would have been a good idea, and I kind of believe they wouldn't do that, honestly. Again, it's just my guess. But anything in show business, anything is possible. So overall, I think we're both kind of mixed of like, do we want to see it or would it actually happen? So, but personally, I think we can all agree we don't want it to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. And with that being said, we have come to an end to our review / live discussion. Unless you wish to share something else.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're okay right now.
Good. Okay, and with that being said, we are done. Thank you for enjoying our review / live discussion. You guys know the drill. Comment, like, subscribe, give us your personal thoughts and ideas. What did you thought of the Digital Circus last act? What did you thought about Digital Circus as in general, overall as a series? Do you think it's going to continue? Do you think we'll get to season 2? Who knows? Put everything in the comment section down below. And as always, see you guys next time. Stay tuned for more. Laura Shadows signing off.
TK the Lucky Bastard out.
Polly out.
And as always, later, fuckers.